What makes you feel the way you do? Are you feeling sad, angry, happy, or in love because that just happens to be the way you feel? Or is it because your thoughts are making you feel that way? In today's video, we're going to explore how we experience emotions and talk about some of the main theories that go into our understanding of emotions in general. Most of the debate about how we experience emotions comes down to various views surrounding something called the primacy debate. This is kind of like the nature versus nurture argument in psychology in general, or the chicken versus egg argument. The debate is between what comes first, thinking or feeling. Some of the theories we're going to talk about today believe that emotions are the result of our own cognition, our own thoughts, beliefs, worries, and doubts. Others believe that emotions are experienced, then perceived by us through those cognitive behaviors. There are three specific theories that have been proposed to explain different views within this primacy debate, and they are the theories that I'm going to discuss today, and those are the James-Lange theory, the Cannon-Bard theory, and the two-factor theory. The first two theories, James-Lange and Cannon-Bard, fall more on the side of feelings influencing thinking in the primacy debate. So basically, how we think is more a response to the feelings and emotions that we're experiencing. Let's start by talking about the James-Lange theory. The James-Lange theory holds that emotion results from physiological states triggered by stimuli in the environment. Think of it as being very similar to how we experience things through our senses and then perceive what we're experiencing. So if I eat a jalapeno pepper, I am perceiving that pepper as being hot and reacting to it, which are cognitive factors. I turn on the television at home and the volume is really high. My senses are picking up on those sound waves hitting my ear, which then triggers me to cognitively perceive that sound as being too loud. So with the James-Lange theory, I am reacting to things in my environment. The reactions are feelings and emotions that I'm experiencing. It basically says that we experience some sort of stimuli in our environment that leads to a physiological response, which we then interpret as being an emotion. Let's say I walk out of my house and notice a snake in my front yard. I immediately freeze and tense up. I can feel my heart beating fast, I'm breathing heavy, and I start to sweat. These physiological responses are largely automatic. I don't even have control over them. They're just a response to seeing the snake. But since I'm experiencing them, I am interpreting this experience as being scary. The Cannon-Bard theory is very similar to the James-Lange, except it holds that we have a physiological response at the same time that we experience the emotion, and that both are the response to how we perceive some sort of external stimuli. So me seeing the snake may cause all those physiological reactions that I mentioned earlier, but they're also happening because I just have a fear of snakes. In fact, I have had a phobia of snakes for most of my life. My reaction of fear isn't happening based on how my body is reacting to the snake, which is what the James-Lange theory believes, but rather I am having that body reaction because I am scared, and both the emotion and the physiological response are happening together at the same time. The final theory I'm going to discuss is the two-factor theory of emotion. In the primacy debate, it definitely falls more on the idea that our thoughts lead to our feelings and emotions. It holds that we experience some sort of external stimuli, like me seeing the snake in my front yard. At that moment, I experience a physiological reaction and apply a cognitive label to that experience. I like to think of this cognitive label as being kind of like your perspective of the situation. My perspective of seeing a snake in my front yard is that I don't like snakes. I had an experience when I was young where I was bit by a snake and it was really scary. This explains why I may experience fear over seeing a snake in my front yard, but my wife may not. We are applying different cognitive labels to the situation based on different perspectives, which are largely influenced from past experiences. I have been bitten by a snake before and she hasn't. Both things happen simultaneously, and the combination of the physiological reaction and your perception of the event lead to you feeling the emotion. Because the two-factor theory holds that we apply a cognitive label prior to experiencing the emotion, it also helps explain why we may interpret situations differently even though our bodies may be doing the exact same thing. What I mean is that with both James-Lange and Cannon-Bard, our physiological responses are helping to shape our feelings, which in turn influence our thoughts. I explain this with the snake and having a racing heart, heavy breathing, and sweating. But my body doesn't just do those things when I'm afraid. I do that when I work out, or even if it's really hot outside. Yet I don't interpret working out or being outside in the heat with fear. The two-factor theory would say that I am able to make a distinction because I'm applying that cognitive label, which helps me interpret the situations differently. Of course, all these theories may have their place in psychology. There are certainly some things that we just react to without thinking about. Some things that are just inherently sad, like death. The James-Lange and Cannon-Bard theories may be more accurate in those types of situations. However, my opinion is that the two-factor theory is probably the most accurate of the three. But I'd love to know what you think, so please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, everybody.